Hi, everyone. I'm so glad you're here today. Today, I'm tackling a big question. What is a content ecosystem anyway? People throw that term around a lot, and if you Google it, you'll probably find definitions like content ecosystem is a collection of content assets that work together. This is a common one, or a mix of blogs, social posts, and videos, and emails that support your brand. That all sounds good technically, but here's the thing. Throwing around content into the world doesn't mean it's an ecosystem. That's like saying a garden is like a bunch of plants in the same yard. And we all know that's not how things really grow. So let's start by breaking it down. What is content first? Content is anything you create to communicate your brand. Blog posts, emails, social media, videos, guides, even your website. But not all content is created equal. Some content is foundational, some is supportive, and some just sits there not really doing much. What's an ecosystem? So an ecosystem is a living system where everything works together and supports each other. So it's all connected. So think of it like a thriving garden. In fact, I like to think of it as a native perennial garden. It's nutrient-rich soil, deep roots, plants that feed and protect each other, plants that are meant to be in that very native environment, and pollinators that spread around the growth. It's all self-sustaining and it's all connected and it all works together. A real content ecosystem is exactly that. It's not just random content scattered around. It's a strategic system that works together to attract, nurture, and convert your audience over time. Another way I like to think about it is a content funnel. That might help you think about it in a more linear fashion, if you will, or you could think of it as even the buyer journey and the content that goes across the entire buyer journey. So that's what I'm talking about when I discuss a content ecosystem. So let's pull from my gardening library to talk a little bit more about this. So I have this fantastic book. I'm not sure if you're seeing it backwards or forwards, but it's Grow Your Soil, Harness the Power of the Soil Food Web to Create Your Best Garden Ever. So we can take a lot of clues and lessons from gardening. And specifically today in this book, we're going to pull a little quote out of here. All right, so this is on page 14 where it says, what good is good soil anyway? So what's the big deal about having good soil? Can't we just plunk things in the ground and fertilize them? Well, kind of. The problem is relying on manufactured fertilizer means you'll be growing inferior produce or plants, I'm adding that part, flowers, perennials, if you will, depleting your soil and causing grief to the planet. So I just love this, and it relates directly to a content ecosystem, because that's exactly how a lot of people treat content marketing. They create random blog posts with no foundation. They slap SEO on top of it like a quick fix fertilizer. They chase trends instead of building something long-term and sustainable. But just like soil, if you don't build a strong content foundation, you won't grow. You'll just keep struggling to survive. So what does a real content ecosystem look like? In my framework, a true content ecosystem isn't about just producing more. It's about creating the right content in the right structure so it actually grows. It starts with core content. And this is a lot like having a perennial garden. So perennial means that it's evergreen. It means that it's going to keep coming back year after year, and it grows stronger and stronger every year. So your core content is evergreen content. Meaning it is timeless. It's always about the core competencies or core value, core offers of your brand. So this is what we also call like a showstopper. So it's that thing, that thing that makes your brand stand out, makes it unique. So how this translates into content is it's a pillar page, for example. So a pillar page is a long form content, about 2,000 to 2,500 words on a page that goes deep into one of your brand's core topics. It takes a deep dive into that topic as relates to your ideal prospect. So it's helping inform and educate your ideal prospect, helping them become problem aware. Then supporting content comes in. So things like blog posts, especially, they support that pillar page and create a topic cluster that is all about that core content. And there's a lot of underlying behind the scenes compost, if you will, that goes into this that aligns very well with best practices in search. So for example, your core content is all linking to your supporting content is all linking to your pillar page and vice versa. So other supporting content in the funnel could be things like your social media, your lead magnets, but they're not random. They're not just like, hey, what should we post on social media this week? They're strategically connected to your core content. And then finally, amplification and automation. So instead of constantly planting new seeds, you nurture what's already growing, keeping it optimized and working for you. So this way, instead of content just sitting there, it works together, feeding into itself, growing stronger over time. So if you've been throwing out content like scattered seeds and hoping for the best, or relying on SEO fertilizer to make weak content work, this is your sign to change that now. So your content shouldn't be published. It should be planted thoughtfully, strategically, in a way that grows over time. That's what a real content ecosystem is. It's not just a collection of posts and content. It's a system that supports your business growth long term. So, all right, that's it for today. This is the first edition, let's say, of the marketing advice from the gardening bookshelf, where we ditch the outdated playbooks and cultivate fresh, sustainable strategies that actually grow and nurture your ideal prospects. So if this resonates, drop a leaf or a plant in the comments. And let's talk about how you can start building a content ecosystem that lasts. And if you want to learn more about my framework and how this works to take SEO and content SEO to sales, you can join my webinar a week from today, The Organic Way to Turn Search into Revenue. So I'll drop a link in the comments soon, and I look forward to seeing you next time, and happy growing.